Welcome to the Thyroid Fixxr podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Amie, and we're diving deep into the world of hormones, especially for all you fierce women in perimenopause and menopause, and everyone struggling with hypothyroidism. So if you are battling weight gain, you're feeling like shedding those pounds is an impossible feat, if you're dealing with plummeting energy levels, gut-wrenching fatigue, or a libido that seems to have left town, then you're in the right place. And let's not even start on the hair loss. If these symptoms are sounding all too familiar, you have found your tribe. My goal is to educate, empower, and shake up your world. Remember, I want you to embrace every inch of that badass woman that you truly are. So if you're ready to dive in and fix things, let's go. Talking again about the importance of getting in your protein, but it's hard to do. I get it. So I bring you a solution: Paleo Valley beef sticks. Now, when we're talking about beef sticks or jerky, there's so much out there on the market, and a lot of them will claim that their beef is grass-fed just as long as it was fed grass at some point in its life. But really, the cows are fed grains, and they're just sprinkled in some grass-fed, marketed that way. And they can say that it's American-made as long as it's packaged in America. You don't want that. Paleo Valley grass-fed beef sticks are the real deal. They are sourced from 100% grass-fed and grass-finished cows, never fed grains or harmful antibiotics, and they come from small family-owned farms right here in the USA, and they're good. So you want to grab some of these, add them in throughout the day, fantastic snack on the go. Go to paleovalley.com/thyroid, and that's going to save you 15% off. So PALEOVALLEY.com/thyroid, THYROID, and save 15%. So this is going to be a game changer for you, and you can probably hear the excitement in my voice. The latest introduction, the latest member of the family to the Fixxr line is Metabolism Fixxr. And this, oh my God, I formulated this just for all my people out there that need to lose weight, that need help in the weight loss department, that can't lose weight no matter what they do, that feel like they have a slow metabolism, and that might be thinking of trying all those peptides out there, you know, the Beverly Hills soccer mom drug of choice for weight loss peptides. Or even if you're on them already and you're like, man, these are really expensive and I'm still not losing weight, add in Metabolism Fixxr. Here's what I did. I took the power of T2, which increases your basal metabolic rate while you are sitting there watching Netflix. You're burning fat while you're watching Netflix. I combined it with a very unique patented ingredient called Suppressa. Suppressa has multiple clinical trials backing its efficacy in reducing your appetite, decreasing snacking, and providing way more control over your food intake. It is amazing. We also see improved emotional well-being, just decreased food cravings all around, reduced hunger, and weight management. Add on top of that, we have green tea extract. We have purple forest purple tea extract, both of which affect the metabolism in a very positive way without the jitters of normal fat burning supplements out there from the 1980s and 90s, right? The ones that made you feel like you're having a heart attack. You will not have that in any of my supplements, Thyroid Fixxr or Metabolism Fixxr. But Metabolism Fixxr, ooh, yeah, we kicked it up a notch. It is in powder form, so you can drink it through your day. It's going to flavor your water. We got orange crush and refreshing citrus. I love them both. It is going to keep you under control all day long. So you throw a couple scoops in your water bottle in the morning, throw a scoop or two in your water bottle throughout the day. You will have fat burning and appetite control the entire day for what? An eighth of a price of the peptides? Oh my God, you can't go wrong. So grab some Metabolism Fixxr today. Please let me know how you do on it. I am super excited for you. Super excited. These are honestly some of my favorite episodes to record because they are your questions. And ultimately, that's what I want to give you answers to your questions. So listen up. If you didn't submit a question, that's fine, because other people's questions can sometimes be yours, the ones that are rolling around in your head that you really want answers for, and you're just not getting them anywhere. Now, of course, you can post them in the Girl Fixxr Thyroid Facebook group. I'm in there multiple times a week, diving in and answering questions. The group is fantastic for getting to people, getting to your question and giving you answers. I have patients in there that have been with me for so long, they know exactly how I would answer. So that is a great resource. Please join the Girl Fixxr Thyroid Facebook group. It will help you, I promise. Now, if you want to take it one step further, you're not quite ready to work with me yet, that's okay. Join the Better Thyroid and Hormone Club. That I am in every single day answering your questions. We do live lab reads at least once a month. We do live Q&As. We do Q&As with experts that I bring on that literally you can get on the Zoom call and unmute yourself and ask these people questions that you would have to pay thousands of dollars to do outside of the Better Thyroid and Hormone Club. So that is another option for you. These questions come from a mixture of the Better Thyroid and Hormone Club and the Girl Fixxr Thyroid group. So thank you for sending them in. Let's just dive in. Okay, first question. Have you ever had someone who just can't handle any estrogen? Like their body rejects it and is better off without it. So she is talking about estradiol replacement therapy, so BHRT. Now, and this is from Michelle. So Michelle, whenever you are on a hormonal regimen, number one, with estradiol, it's important that your prescriber is pairing that up with progesterone because you want that balance. Estrogen, estradiol promotes growth, and that's good because we want cell turnover. We want to protect our brain. We want to protect our bones and our heart and our muscles, but we don't want too much growth because that's where abnormal cells can kind of spark off and start to grow. We want that progesterone, which is anti-proliferative, to come in because progesterone significantly helps you protect against cancer. It's anti-proliferative. So we want that balance first and foremost. We also want that balance because you can become estrogen dominant even in menopause if you're taking estradiol without balancing it with progesterone. Progesterone will ultimately drop low, 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 and estrogen will be high. And then you're completely out of balance. You're in that estrogen dominant state. And that's where you will get very uncomfortable side effects such as bloating and water retention and potentially weight gain from being in that estrogen dominant state. So that leads me to what would be my next question for you. If you were standing in front of me, I would ask, are you on enough progesterone? So the first thing that I would want to do would be to kind of, instead of pulling you off estradiol completely because there's so many benefits, why don't we drop that dose down and increase your progesterone? Because remember, progesterone, if you haven't listened to the episode I did with Carol Peterson, my God, that was gold. Go back and listen to it. We'll put the link in the show notes even and make it easy for you. Click that, listen to it. Amazing. Progesterone also helps with hot flashes. Progesterone helps with mood swings and sleep. It has a laundry list of benefits. So adding in progesterone and increasing that dose can benefit a woman while we keep that estradiol at a lower dose for you. Maybe that's the key. And it's all about personalization. So even as you age, maybe you were optimized on hormones 2 years ago, but your body's a different body today, and you most likely need an adjustment or a tweak. Now, is there the possibility that estradiol just isn't for you? I struggle with that because you have estradiol, you have estrogen. You were born with it. You had a lot of it in your 20s. You still had some in your 30s, right? If you're totally menopausal now, your adrenal glands still make some estradiol. Your ovaries will still produce some estradiol. So you're making your own. And obviously you're not having an anaphylactic shock reaction to that, to your own estradiol. All we're doing when we use BHRT is bumping up that level a little bit, giving you some that your body isn't making, because obviously production goes down as we move into perimenopause, menopause. So adding in that estradiol brings that level back up to a nice, healthy, not what you were in your 20s, but it brings it back up to a nice healthy level. And estradiol numbers above a 50 are important. So 50 is that bare bones number that you have to be above to get the bone, brain, breast, and heart protection. Most women do their best, I would say closer to 100, maybe a little bit over, where estradiol is in that really sweet spot. That's where you'll get the vaginal lubrication, help with vaginal atrophy, helping with hot flashes, helping with hair loss, brain fog, cognition, thinking, libido, all of those things. And then what you're not seeing is the brain protection, that 67% reduction in Alzheimer's, bone protection, significant reduction in osteoporosis and osteopenia, heart protection out the wazoo as it's combined with testosterone and progesterone. So, Michelle, I don't know that your body it's not rejecting estrogen because it would have rejected it when you were young. And I've never heard of or seen a case of a person's body rejecting their own hormone. So I think it's just a balancing act for you, a few tweaks to get it just right. Okay, Rachel says, is it true that testosterone levels need to be higher than optimal if it's DHEA that gave you the boost? Or is optimal the same whether it's achieved with supplements or not? Great question, Rachel. So whether you're using DHEA or hormone Fixxr or any supplemental form to support your testosterone levels, the optimal range is the same. So when you look at that total testosterone, we want it above a 50. And again, for testosterone and estradiol are the same baseline number. Remember that, 50, 50, 50. Total testosterone, estradiol, not total estrogen, estradiol more than 50. Now, again, I mean, some women do their best when their total testosterone is between 100 and 200. So where you fall, don't know, but we have to kind of find that. Maybe you're feeling amazing and you're coming in at a 55 total. Beautiful. But now we want to look at the free. So we always want to look at that free testosterone. Now, free testosterone should be mid-range of that standard lab value range, middle of the road or higher. I have seen plenty of women with total testosterone levels, beautiful, 70, 80, 100, 120, and their free testosterone's in the toilet, 1.5, 2. So then we go down to SHBG and we look at sex hormone binding globulin and see maybe that's why your free testosterone is bound up. It's bound to that SHBG molecule, which is like a sticky train. I've said this before. SHBG is a sticky train that drives around and drops off your hormones at their selected depots where they have to get off of the train to do their work, get to the receptor site at the cell level. If the train is too sticky, meaning your SHBG is above an 80, then your free testosterone is stuck on the train. So you could have a really beautiful total and a not so pretty free. That would be where you would add in SHBG Fixxr to lower the SHBG or at least keep it from going too high, like above a 200. That's craziness. Keep it from going too high and help some of that testosterone get off the train. Now, in the case of, like you're saying, I'm optimal with DHEA, then look at your free testosterone and go by how you feel. You know, are you feeling like you can get shit done? Are you lifting heavy? Are you strong? Do you have a libido? Is your brain lit up and functioning again? So just because you're over that 50 total, the free might be low, or just because you're over that 50 total, the supplements aren't quite cutting it. You need to be maybe closer to 100. And that would be where bioidentical testosterone replacement would come in. But to your question, it doesn't matter what you're using to bump that level up. You would still use the same optimal markers in looking at your labs. Okay, Linda, this fits beautifully following the last question. Is it okay to take hormone Fixxr even though I don't test my testosterone? Yes. Listen, as a woman, you know your body. Men, you're not so good at listening to your bodies. Some of you are, some of you aren't. My husband's not one of them. But no, women are so good at listening to their bodies and really tuning into their symptoms. So you know if you have low GSD hormone, you know if you're dragging, if you're losing muscle, if you're lifting and you're like, oh my gosh, why are these 15, 20s heavy, right? Your libido's in the toilet, body composition is changing, fat's coming on, muscles going down. If that's happening, you can pretty much assume that you have a low testosterone level. And here's the other thing. Really, if you are above the age of 40, chances are really good that your testosterone is not optimal, because progesterone is what falls off the cliff first in a woman's 30s, definitely 40s, but testosterone is really close behind in that drop off. So 30s and 40s, that's where we see the testosterone levels just plummet. They just plummet. So you can assume as well, based on your age and pair it up with your symptoms. Now, hormone Fixxr will raise your testosterone, and you may get a 10 to 30 point raise with it. 30 would be the max high. I've seen it. I've seen it in patients' labs before, but it's not normal. I would say 10 to 20 point bump with hormone Fixxr. If you need more of a bump, if you're one of these ladies that, okay, if we tested your testosterone, you'd be coming in non-existent, less than 3, 10. I mean, just ridiculously low numbers. Then I would pair up hormone Fixxr with your testosterone replacement therapy and let both be on board for a while to really get your testosterone level up. So to answer your question, yeah, you can absolutely take hormone Fixxr and then, but eventually get tested. I mean, it would even be really cool to get a baseline now so that if you start hormone Fixxr, you can know where did your total testosterone move to. And these baseline tests are super simple. If you go to altalabtests.com, ULTALABTESTS, it's plural, altalabtests.com /Amie Hornaman. So it's my name, spelled out AMIEHORNAMAN. You will see on there, if you then type in my name in the search bar, I have built out thyroid and hormone panels. But here's the beauty of Alta. You can order just free and total testosterone, maybe for like $30, something like that. And Alta always has a 20% off sale. So even if you just hover on the site a little bit, like just let it sit on your computer for 30 seconds, you'll get a pop-up with some kind of discount. So I would just order it yourself if your doctor won't, so that you can get a baseline and then you can test maybe 3 months from now to see where your levels move to. I'm checking in with you. How's your energy these days? How's your skin? How's your muscle strength? These are things that are very, very important to me. And I know just from research that after the age of 30, our mitochondria starts breaking down. And these are the powerhouses of the cell that provide us with muscle strength and better skin and abundant energy through the day. So I've added in something that I wanted to share with you, Timeline Nutrition's MitoPure. So when we look into research into healthy aging, it really focuses on that pivotal role that our mitochondria plays in our body. And without our mitochondria working at top notch, then health is just declining. And that's not what we want. Daily wear and tear on our mitochondria is inescapable, but we can do something about it now. Timeline Nutrition's MitoPure is the first supplement that has been clinically shown to replace and rebuild damaged mitochondria. And this results in a boost in cellular energy. And actually, research has shown that individuals experience an increase in muscle strength and endurance without even altering their diet and exercise routine. So, I mean, I can personally attest to feeling the difference. I am now going to ask you to feel the difference. So I invite you to go to timelinenutrition.com. They're giving my community 10% off of MitoPure if you use the code Dr. Amie. So you are going to go to timelinenutrition.com /Dr. Amie and use the code Dr. Amie, DRAMIE. So timelinenutrition.com /DRAMIE and use the code Dr. Amie at checkout. Okay, HC, what is your personal favorite non-fluoride toothpaste? I still have not found one that I absolutely like after using all the different brands. I know, right? So I was speaking at Health Optimization Summit in London, and they gave all the speakers this, VIP bag. And in there was a product called Natch, Natch. And it were these little pellets. They're fluoride free, of course. And I want to say, I mean, I would call it toothpaste, but it's kind of not toothpaste. It's these little pellets that you chew. So it's chewable toothpaste tablets. And they were good. Like they actually tasted really good. Now I have no collaboration, association, affiliation with them. I'm honest in that I'm looking right now at their website because I keep meaning to go on to get some of this. I enjoyed brushing my teeth. Like I enjoyed brushing my teeth with this Natch toothpaste tablet. And I do see that they ship to the US over $100. So I think I might get myself some. I mean, I know it's a lot to pay for toothpaste, so I'll have to check out their prices, but it was just really good and fluoride free. And oh yeah, so one thing is $13. Maybe I will just pay the shipping because I'm not going to buy $100 worth, but a bottle has 85 tabs. So what is that? Like over a month of brushing your teeth with something that's really, really good for you. Has essential oils in it. I don't know. I like it. So that's one thing to check out. Man, outside of that, I keep bouncing around too, trying to find one that I actually like. I was brushing my teeth this morning with Dr. Bronner's, and I was like, I don't even like the taste of this. Like I'm actually hurrying up my brushing because I want to get it out of my mouth. And that wasn't the case with Natch. So I wish I could give you more options, but I'm kind of in the same boat as you. And I think I might be ordering some Natch. All right. Kookaburra. Love this name. My T3 and T4 are, air quotes, in range. But my TSH is so low, it doesn't even hit the bottom of the range. In Australian terms, my TSH is 0.008. Should I be concerned about it being so low? My IMGP is not. Well, your IMGP is smart. Yay. We don't care about low TSH. Now, one thing you didn't say is, are you on thyroid hormone replacement? Because that is crucial to know. But I'll give you both scenarios for the listeners. If you are on any amount of T3, even if your doctor gave you a baby dose of T3, 5 micrograms, or I just had a patient the other day, this is criminal, but her doctor put her on, before she came to me, put her on 15 milligrams of NP thyroid. I'm like, oh, good. Well, that's just enough to shut down your own thyroid production, but it's not enough to optimize you whatsoever. So you're probably going to be feeling worse. She's like, I am. But anyways, that is still, even though it's not enough to optimize you, it's still enough to send the signal back to the pituitary, which talks back to the hypothalamus to say, okay, we don't need TSH being produced because we don't need to nudge the thyroid to do its job and make the proper amount of thyroid hormone. We don't need it. We're good. So TSH is naturally going to go down. Now, we see this even with high amounts of T4. So T4 only people, I know you're not optimized, but your TSH can go in the toilet if you're on consistent T4 year after year. Your doctor just keeps bumping up that dose like they all do. That can even suppress TSH. We have to go back, and doctors have to go back to thinking about the mechanism. How does the thyroid gland work? How does the whole HPT, hypothalamus pituitary thyroid axis, work? And it's a signal. So if there is enough thyroid hormone in the body, maybe not enough for you to be optimized, but enough to satisfy the pituitary and the hypothalamus, then TSH will not be produced, and that's going to be low. Then we have to go and look at your T3 and T4. So they're in range. Well, we know that standard lab value range, don't care what country you're in, is taken from a group of sick people. There still is that optimal range that we all have to go by. And at the end of the day, I want your T3 and T4 in the optimal range. So if I had a patient, hypothetically, if I had a patient, TSH is low, and then free T3 and free T4 are in range, but the free T3 is low, I'm still going to address that low T3. We're still going to increase or add in T3 in one form or another, liothyronine, NP armor, increase in NP armor, increase in the liothyronine. And then we have to move over to reverse T3, which you didn't mention, because that's going to tell us if you're taking too much T4. So if that reverse T3 is high, we drop the T4, add in T3. So being in range doesn't tell us much. Of course, you know that. You want to be optimal, not just in range. But at the end of the day, it still doesn't matter that your TSH is low. You want to address the free T3 and reverse T3 are the two most important tests you can get, because that's going to allow us to adjust your thyroid medication or put you on it or whatever in conjunction with your symptoms. Dawn, what do you optimize first? Thyroid, sex hormones, glucose. How do you know what is the root cause of your disorders? Oh, I love this question, Dawn. Okay. You do it all at the same time. So if you're working with me, the last thing I want to do is prolong the time that it takes to get you optimized. And I know many practitioners that do this. Well, we're going to work on your gut first, and then we're going to test your thyroid, and we'll check it in 6 weeks and see what it does. Then after we add in thyroid medication, 6 months from now, we'll check your hormones. Now, you have to do it all at the same time. Now, we might have you introduce one thing at a time over the course of a couple of weeks, but it's not going to be months and months and months as we work on one thing at a time. So we want to test thyroid, sex hormones, insulin, glucose, A1C, all of it, and then start the optimization process. So it's all done at the same time. So if you have high insulin and you're insulin resistant and you have low thyroid function, if we work on the insulin, it might bump down a little bit, but the low thyroid function is going to throw the insulin out of whack. So you have to do both at the same time. You know, if we start working on your thyroid and your hormones are in the shitter, it's not going to work. You're still going to have all of the same symptoms because your hormones aren't there. So we have to do both. Now, the second part of the question is, what is the root cause? We got to unpack this a little bit. I get this question a lot. So let's say you have the symptoms of weight gain, can't lose weight, fatigue, hair loss. And we say the root cause of those symptoms is your thyroid. And then you say, well, what's the root cause of my thyroid disorder? We can dig and find it, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, so let's say the root cause is Epstein-Barr virus, which we pretty much all have. There's really nothing you can do about that. It's left its mark. You have EBV. We'll keep it in a dormant state so it doesn't layer into an active state. Yes, active EBV could downregulate thyroid function. EBV just being there can set you up for Hashimoto's, the autoimmune form. So at the end of the day, do you try to address the EBV and cross your fingers and wish on a rainbow that your T3 goes from 2.3 to a 4.0 as you gain an extra 50 pounds? No, the thyroid is actually the root cause of your symptoms. Let me give you another example. Let's say that you are struggling with low libido and hair loss and vaginal dryness and vaginal atrophy and hot flashes. We test your hormones. The hormones are low. What's the root cause of your low hormones? Age. I mean, most of us, it's age. Now, some of us can be thrown into menopause early from a hysterectomy, from some kind of onslaught, chemotherapy, radiation, different medications, excessive use of birth control for many, many years. Obviously, can tank your hormones, make them go low a lot sooner because you've tanked your own production of hormones. But there's no root cause to low hormones. I mean, yeah, you want to look at environmental factors and sleep, and are you lifting heavy when it relates to testosterone? But the root cause is that you're aging. And the root cause of your symptoms is low hormones. That can be addressed. I can't rewind the clock and make you Benjamin Button. So that root cause we can't even deal with. But if we want to say that low hormones from aging is the root cause, and we're going to fix that. And then we put in bioidentical hormone replacement. So this is where, I ruffle some feathers in this world, because there's many practitioners out there that say, well, if we just heal your gut and heal your adrenals, your thyroid will be fine. Have you had a thyroid problem? Are you a man? Are you a man saying that and you don't actually know what it's like to be in a woman's body with thyroid problems? Do you have a thyroid problem, dude? Because that's where I challenge. And listen, I mean, if you want to drop boatloads of cash doing all these different Instagram protocols that promise you results, by all means, try to get to that root cause by, I don't know, chelating your metals. Yeah, heavy metals are important to look at. But again, it's your thyroid's not going to magically regenerate thyroid hormones. Your ovaries are not going to spring back to where they were in your 20s. It's not going to happen. So the root cause is the actual disease itself. Okay, ready? One more. This is Mary. What is the difference between a GLP and your metabolism fixer? Okay, love this. Okay, GLPs, glucagon-like peptides. Been talking about them a lot lately because Big Pharma, Eli Lilly, came and cracked down on the online research-only peptide websites. Now, these websites are ones that I order my peptides from all the time. Limitless Life, Peptide Sciences. And they said, and they spent $150 million doing this. You cannot sell tirzepatide and semaglutide anymore. Well, I think it's just tirzepatide. I don't think they've come after semaglutide because Eli Lilly makes Mounjaro and Zepbound. So they're saying you can't sell tirzepatide anymore. Well, tirzepatide is the best one. And what we have found is, and they're probably going to be coming after the compounding pharmacies next. These GLPs are fantastic for people with type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance. They can't lose weight. I use them in my practice with my patients. Microdosing it takes down inflammation, definitely helps with insulin resistance, elevated A1C, obviously helps with weight loss, and helps with those. I call it air hunger, but I said that one time and somebody thought I meant like you're hungry for air. What I'm referring to is just that general feeling of hunger when you really shouldn't be. Excessive cravings, uncontrolled eating definitely helps with that. But here's the thing, they do come with side effects. So, there's such good pros and such good cons, bad cons with these GLPs. At the end of the day, I think they're beneficial when used properly, microdosing. But they come with the side effects of slowing gastric motility. A lot of people get very, very nauseous, uncontrolled heartburn, and some people get crushing fatigue to where they're like, I just can't even. Metabolism Fixxr has Suppressa in it, which is a trademark patented ingredient, multiple studies backing it, shown to suppress appetite. It's decreasing those air hunger, crazy cravings by 69% in 2 weeks of use. So we're really seeing promise with Suppressa coming in, kind of replacing or being an adjunct therapy or an alternative therapy to the GLPs. And then on top of that, it has T2 in it, which you've heard me talk about before, but I'll talk about it again. T2, amazing, forgotten thyroid hormone. Increases your basal metabolic rate, turns white adipose tissue, that white squishy fat that you want to get rid of, turns that brown. Browning that adipose tissue is what makes you thermogenic, makes you burn fat while you're sitting there at rest. The beautiful thing. It also activates the mitochondria to produce more ATP, so better energy. And it does not have a negative feedback loop on your thyroid, so it's not going to suppress your TSH like we talked about in the beginning. It's not going to make you look like you are hyperthyroid to where your doctor is going to pull your medication. It won't do that. So Metabolism Fixxr is an amazing alternative to the GLPs, especially if you can't get them anymore because you were buying them from the research facility. You just don't feel like paying thousands of dollars to obtain them from a compounding pharmacy or from a regular pharmacy via the prescription, because most of the time it's not covered. Unless you're a diabetic, it's not covered. So this is a great, great alternative, but I still do feel that the GLPs hold a ton of promise. So as always, thank you so much for your questions. I love answering your questions. Join the Girl Fix Your Thyroid Facebook group, and we'll also put the link in the show notes for the Better Thyroid Hormone Club, which I would love to see you in there. I'm in there every single day. You get updates from me, real life day-to-day things from me, plus the expert interviews, the lab reads. Every single week, we have a live meeting. Can't beat that. Every single week for $57 a month. That is it. All right. I'll see you in there. Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I hope you loved it. And as always, if you would be so kind to leave a review if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, that would be absolutely amazing. I read all of them. Also, anything that you hear on this podcast is not intended to diagnose or treat any kind of medical condition. So we always recommend that you check with your medical provider, your doctor, your nurse practitioner before implementing anything that you hear on this podcast. And if you want to find out more about working together, you can click the link below in the show notes to book a discovery call. And there you'll be talking to a member of my team. They are an extension of me. They are amazing. And you and I will talk after that once we get you all signed up and you and I get to work together. All right. I hope to see you soon.